Alright, so since my last review, I've played about 20 to 25 hours of side missions in Fallout New Vegas. I did that because I wanted to see if there was anything specifically redeeming about the side quest portion of the game, so that I could give a more full review. So once the actual main storyline gets patched and I can complete that, I'll give another review as well. But this is my take on specifically the side missions of the game. What I seem to notice in these side missions is there's a little bit less heart and soul to them than the Fallout 3 side missions. I say this as in the Fallout 3 side missions had the same level of depth and consideration and importance as the main storyline did in a lot of ways. Like, a lot of the characters that you'd meet in side missions were of particular consequence in the actual, in the full scope of things. And there was a lot of side missions that actually touched each other and intersected, which was really cool, especially when you'd accidentally stumble on like a whole web of, of different quests and different people. And that added depth to the game, depth to the story, because the people felt connected. In New Vegas, however, because of the addition of the new faction system, which I'll go on record as saying I like the faction system because it gives you specifically something to strive for and it gives you a reason to play through again. However, a lot of these faction quests seem to be like fetch quests, like go to this spot, grab this, come back, talk to me, go back out, talk to this person, then grab this, then come back, so on and so forth, and repeated for really long periods of time, like unreasonably long periods of time. And I don't really like that. However, there have been a few side missions that I've picked up just from random people that are they're fairly interesting. I wish they focused a little more on the actual Vegas feel of things, as in like you could tell they're trying to capture like the 50s mob-inspired, mafia-created, incarnation of Vegas, except it's not visible anywhere except on the Strip, and even on the Strip it's kind of minimal. Like the only real like mafia-style casino is with the Omertas. Like I guess you could argue that the Chairman Casino is mafia-like too, but there was like 10 of them. I killed them all in like 5 minutes, and when I was level 5, so can't really, But it's starting to feel a little repetitive now because a lot of these quests are similar in nature or exactly the same in nature. I like the quests with the NCR, but they seem to be sending me to do the same shit over and over again. And there's just so many loading zones where it's like they want me to talk to this person and that person and then come back and talk to this person again. And it's like 50% loading time, 50% conversation, 0% fun. So I can't really say that I like it or don't like it. However, I just got the Explorer perk in that game, so I could see exactly how many nodes there are on the map of, supposedly unique places, and there is a lot. There's a lot to explore, and there's a lot of places to go, and since I'm a Fallout fan, I definitely enjoy it, and it's not been difficult for me to get through at all. I did, however, run into that save game bug again at about 32 hours in. This happened to me going through Vault 34, which is a lot of people have gone through Vault 34 now because everybody knows it's got a shitload of guns in it. However, when I went into Vault 34, came back out, and fast traveled somewhere, my game froze and I had to restart and do Vault 34 over again, which isn't that big a deal, all things considered, but it shouldn't happen. It's kind of annoying. Especially considering I still can't do the main quest line because fucking save bug won't let me load my saves. Now, as far as the rest of the map goes, it really feels exactly like the western section of the Capital Wasteland. Like the eastern section of the Capital Wasteland is where you have the ruins of DC, and I thought that that had a lot of character and it had a lot of flavor. And now with the Mojave Wastes, it's like there's nothing. Now I get that Vegas is personified by the Strip. What I don't get is that that's the only part of New Vegas that's remotely Vegas-like. Everything else is nothing. I mean, there's nothing. If anybody has ever been to Las Vegas, which I have, there's the main strip, there's the new strip, and then there's all of these casinos and resorts in between. And they just had so much fucking potential for things they could have done with this game that they just did not do, they did not touch, which is really disappointing. However, this is supposed to be a review of the side missions, and as far as the side missions go, I've enjoyed them. There's a lot of them, which is good, but they are starting to get a little bit repetitive, and you're gonna be surprised at the lack of heart in them. And by this I mean you're not going to really do any side quests that have any significance to the main storyline, which is kind of disappointing because, like in Fallout 3, a lot of the side missions pertain to the Brotherhood of Steel or pertain to ghouls, and then there was that political intrigue between ghouls and humans, especially where the Brotherhood of Steel was concerned, and it was just, there was a lot of implications for everything you did, even without a faction system. Now, with this faction system, those implications have been, like, quantified, where they stick a number to it. But I honestly felt like Fallout 3 was more reactive than Fallout Vegas, even with, the quantified factions. So, I don't know. I kind of feel like Fallout New Vegas, like I said, I'm not gonna do a full, like, my finished overall review until the fucking shitty game gets patched. But as of right now, I'm really enjoying the side missions, even though it's got those, like I said, the flaws with repetitiveness. One other thing I've noticed, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, or maybe I'm just crazy, I don't think there's a single new texture in this game. Like, I don't think there's a single one. Like, the vaults look exactly the same as the DC vaults, and I kind of get that vaults are supposed to look the same because that's part of the idea of, like, it's an industrial complex. That's the idea. But shouldn't there be a little variation? There's really none, and I was kind of surprised by that. Same thing with, like, the insides of buildings and the outsides of buildings. There's just not a lot of polish to it, especially for anybody who's been to the Legion Fort yet. There's a trench that stretches the entire length of one of the walls. So it's about a 3-minute walk from start to finish down this trench. So I started to walk down this trench because I'm like, it's got to come out somewhere. I get to the end of it, it's just a dead end. And it's a loop of the same textures and models all the way down. And from that distance, like, you can just see there's this part, there's this part, and there's this part. And there's only 3 different pieces that they used alternating in patterns of 3, and it's exactly the same all the way down. And I was really pissed off by that, really disturbed by that, because that's just such a lack of effort. And not only to put it like a dead-end ditch in there. I know that seems like a really nitpicky comment, but I don't mean it as in that one ditch really pissed me off. I mean it as in that as a whole helps represent the rest of what they did for the terrain of this game, and that pissed me off. Not the actual ditch itself. The fact that everything looks like this ditch, which is a bummer. But all that aside, the side missions, were I to assign a number to how much I enjoyed them, I guess I'd probably put it at like an 8 out of 10. Or a 7.5 out of 10. Probably more an 8 out of 10. Because I'm sitting here talking all this shit, but really I've been playing it for like 3 days nonstop, and I don't think I'm going to stop anytime soon. Not until I finish everything. But that's the kind of gamer I am. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and there'll be probably 2 more to come in the future.